Hello, I'm Toycat, and today I'm excited to mention that I'm actually getting back into travel. I feel like there's been a few years where maybe you haven't been able to do as much, who knows why, but today I'm going to be doing something quite exciting, which is visiting my 49th new country, and indeed my first country in Africa, and if you're curious as to how I picked it, it was by sorting by cheapest flight that you could come back on the next day, just for a fun little jaunt. And where did that lead me? To Marrakesh. What's going on right there right now? Apparently some earthquakes, but it's probably going to be just fine. So yeah, earlier this month I went to Ireland for a fun visit to climb their tallest mountain. It was going pretty well, and then it started to rain and wasn't going quite well, and I had to climb my first waterfall, but I'm hoping that Morocco will be a much more calm experience, and I'll let you know exactly how that goes. But for now, my flight's boarding. I've got to go get on that. Yeah, I've never actually been to Africa as a continent at all. I've traveled to a lot of countries, but they've all been in Europe and Asia. But that is something I wanted to change. I'm going to be visiting all of the continents, and that includes Africa and South America, the two black spots on my map. But how do you decide where you're going to visit on such a vast continent? I wanted to have the most rigorous process imaginable to make sure that I visited the best country first. And so what I did is I went to Skyscanner, I sorted from London to everywhere, and picked the very cheapest city that I could fly to, and that has led me on a Ryanair flight to
Marrakesh Airport, where the local time is 7:15.
And so, welcome to Marrakesh. This is one of the biggest tourist cities of Morocco, and honestly, I have such a big thing against cities that are so tourist heavy because it's where people come to make their money on the tourists. What is my experience going to be like over the next 24 hours? I guess I'll find out and have to let you know. But first things first, the most important thing you've got to do when you come to a new country, it's not change the money, it's not work out where you're going, but instead, it's McDonald's. I know it's going to be a good trip, by the way, because the guy on the plane next to me was like, your first time in Morocco? Make sure you try the food. And I said, oh, what food do you recommend? He said, the food. You're going to love it. And so I know wherever I go, it's going to be a good time, which is why I'm going to... You know, this is going to be a transition to going to where I'm actually going, but I'm probably going to end up having a video of cats between now and then, so that's why I'm going to... Okay, I'm walking through a public park just to get to my hotel, and there's a cat here. Aww. Aww, I love you. Do you want to come home with me? Never mind, I found something much cuter. A whole table of cats. Look how tiny they are. This thing is so small. Okay, post-cat update. I am now a little bit lost. The directions only seem to take you so far in the streets of Marrakesh, and so I am walking around. There's lots of doors, but none of them are saying the name of the riad that I'm looking for. There are lots of disadvantages of booking or not booking in advance, and one of them is that you have to find the hotel you've already given your money to, or in this case, the riad, but we'll hopefully find it, and I'll get back to you. Or I'll be homeless for the night, one of the two. Okay, I'm finally inside the riad. It is a very interesting space, but also to get into this, they ask for like far too many details, and I think that's one of the odd things about like traveling some countries. Some are very relaxed about checking in, just see ID and pay a deposit, and some are much more like, yeah, we want to know like where you were born, and we want to know like all these weird details about you. I don't know where that goes, and it's one of those strange things about the international travel experience. But let me show you around the riad real quick. So this is the bedroom. It's very, very strange to me, like ground floor, like just seeing basically exposed walls. But then if I look over here, toilet, got the, you know, lovely little thing. But what I really love is this, the sink and then the shower. Look at this, craziness. This is like incredibly fancy, but like done in a old school way. I love it. Also, it's so echoey, but I'm back surviving. And so far this hotel is at least an 8 out of 10. Although going down a dark alley to get into it makes me a little scared to go back out, so maybe that's time to head in for the night. But let's see. Gotta go record a Minecraft video now. Okay, internet, I want to know, there's been a disagreement. Do you think this is a fountain or it's a bath? I reckon it has steps in and it's like dug into the ground this way. I bet it's hot. Oh no, that's a fountain, I think. Oopsie. Good morning. I can now actually see my riad that I'm staying in, and this is crazy beautiful. Like, really feels like you're being transported to a different world. Big fan. Only 3 hours 40 minutes away, but what a difference it makes. Oh, and it also has breakfast. Oh, I don't know where though. Not there. Over there. Oh, maybe. Oh, and even better, apparently the hotel comes with a cat. I love these guys. How did you get in here? It's quite a lot of security, you know? This city is wild to look at. I have no idea how any of this came to be, or how the passageways were developed, but from up here, what an insane city it is to look at. There's this cat outside the hotel I've slowly been adopting. She loves me. She loves me so much. Sorry, I think this whole video is going to be cats at this point, but is there any point traveling to a Arabic-speaking country and not doing this? Oh, who's a good girl? And so I try to go, and he just follows, and oh, how can I say no to you? You're so cute. Okay, I actually have to leave you now. He's just so cute. It is terrifying being here, and just endless series of alleyways that get a little bit darker or lighter as you go, but Morocco, I guess. If you didn't believe me on the previous point, look down here. It is the middle of the day, as light as it can be, and it's just an endless dark void down there. And some people have to walk that way to get home. Our cat's still following us, by the way. Okay, this is the smallest one I've seen yet. How do you even get a cat that tiny? He's smaller than my phone. The streets here seem to be partially run by donkeys and partially by bikes. And I kind of love that mix, honestly. They say if you want to make an omelette, you've got to break a few eggs, and so apparently an earthquake is a good way to do that. Okay, update. The street to get to McDonald's has led us out of the walled city and into something else entirely. It's fascinating. And you know, I've got to hand it to them. They have a big commitment to plant life here. This is the way that you've got to get through the street. Also, there's no more cats. It's all pigeons. There is an area where the cats end, the pigeons begin, I think. I mean, I guess these guys are also sort of a pet, right? Oh. Gotta admit, I do find their approach to stopping you climbing over their walls to be quite interesting. Kind of want to try now, though. I know we're going the right direction because they're building this apartment, and they've got this ad on there saying, you are just 10 minutes from a McDonald's. Oh, that map is actually really useful too. I have finally made it to McDonald's, which, by the way, can be insanely cheap. The exchange rate is about 12 to 1, so for just under £2, you can get hamburger, fries, and a drink. But on the other end, if you want to go really, really wild, you can get some, you can get much bigger things here. I started to look through the meals just curiosity, and there's something called a 280 TM original. I don't know what's going on there, but it is expensive, and I feel like that's where the most unique McDonald's things are found, right? When you drop a whole £6.50 on a burger fry combo. So let's do it. Do we want to go for Maxi? I guess Maxi, let's do it. Large fries or large steakhouse? Steakhouse it is, I guess. And I guess I'll get a Hawaii. Don't know what that is, but that sounds good. There we go. So the total for the meal is $79. Although, of course, you know, it wouldn't be a McDonald's review if we didn't also try the local McFlurry. They have baki, which is a dessert I tried from my Moldovan tenant lodger I had recently, and so I kind of want to try that as a McFlurry. I'm curious. So for the total today, it is 107 dirhams, just under about £9, if I'm not mistaken, maybe just over, just under. But I could also get some Gouda cheese squares and some chili cheese pops. You got me, McDonald's. Never mind, my 9 has gone up to 12. 140 dirhams, let's do it. And so welcome to McDonald's review Morocco, the first one on Africa on this channel. Wow, going to a whole wacky place here. What is it like? I feel like these fries are the first we want to try because you can see they're very different, but also you can see they gave me some regular ones mixed in. We're gonna get to try actually both right here. Steak fries, super crispy. This is nothing like a McDonald's fry, but it's got that like that kind of tasty outside breading, which really helps out. Breading is not the right word, but it is very, very, very delicious. Love the deep fried, love the seasoning they've got going on there. My second side are these croquettes au fromage. By the way, everything here seems to be like French language as the default. There are a lot more French tourists that come to Marrakesh. Indeed, even though Morocco's got that weird Spanish-French history, there are a lot more French people that come here nowadays, and so you don't see Spanish really anywhere. You see French and then a little bit of English, and so what does this English person think about these cheese croquettes? Oh. S-tier fast food item. I can't believe that these aren't more common. These are so delicious. They look on the outside kind of basic, but that warm, cheesy jalapeno filling, it hits so good. It hits so good. But you know what else is probably going to hit good? The 280. So they made this burger to celebrate 280 years of McDonald's in Morocco. Don't fact check that. That is definitely true. And so it definitely is the most curious looking burger on the menu, which is why I wanted to try it. Like, honestly, I wouldn't have guessed this was a premium burger. It looks like, you know, a couple pieces of like flatbready, ciabatta, you got some tomato, you got some cheese. Is that really a premium, you know, extra burger? I guess I'll find out on the bite, because it does have a lot of maybe fried sauce, mayo, something in there. Honestly, pretty tasty. Getting a lot of looks the moment I started eating this. There's a lot of people here are like, wait, is this guy going to come in our country and say this doesn't look like a premium burger? But honestly, it tastes like something I buy a ciabatta bowl for my burgers all the time. It tastes like something I would make myself, which is weird because McDonald's beef usually tastes nothing like this. It is much like beefier here. Has less of that McDonald's beef taste, which is like they're famous for. It tastes more like, yeah, some dude in the back is just like, okay, they want a 280. He grills it, he does it himself. Oh god, lots of flies, by the way. But yeah, overall, I'm not sure what I think. As far as this goes, which is of course the drink, the McDonald's cup as featured in Space Jam and a bunch of music videos. Very, very curious. I just realized I don't have a McFlurry. I have one of these instead, but I don't have a McFlurry. I'm gonna have my favorite new experience, going to a country and trying, oh, and it's plastic. Oh, S tier again. S tier fast food items all around. I got my fingers in the mayo, so. Yeah, trying it by itself, it is more of a fry sauce than a mayo, but it's not quite either. I wonder what actually is inside of that. So this is Hawaii, I believe is the name of the drink. Oh, it's good. It's like a more tropical version of Fanta. It's full sugar too. If you live anywhere in Europe, especially the UK, you'll know that like sugar is a commodity in drinks. That even the most sugary of sugary drinks rarely do it. But this is a thing, huh? And then the second drink here is a grapefruit fizz. So these are kind of meant as mocktails, which is a very fun thing for McDonald's to sell. But in a lot of cultures where drinking isn't that big, you want to hang out at night with your friends. What are you going to do? You're going to drink mocktails, which to me sounds great. You have all the sugar that you're going to be consuming with cocktails, but less of the downside. It feels like a healthy alternative. And this tastes like a healthy alternative. I'd rather just drink the Hawaii all night, honestly. Yeah, this is refreshing. I feel like this is like a drink that has a little bit of a light flavor to it. This is that heavy, like, you're going to die, but it's going to be a good death kind of flavor. And my burger tastes kind of homemade, which is a weird vibe for it, whereas these fries are the exact opposite. These are very, very, very much the opposite. And then we got these, which are also like just thrown in a deep fry somewhere, but they're so good. And so McDonald's reviews in Morocco, one of the better ones on the continent. They're beating Luxembourg by far, that's for sure. Anyway, it is about 1:30. I've got a flight at 5 something, and there's a lot of weird rules at the airport here, but I'm gonna still try and explore this new part of the city that I've arrived in. Like, it was weird. There was a transition from really narrow streets where everything's crazy to slightly less narrow streets where occasionally cars come through. To all of a sudden, it looks like a more modern city with these apartments and the McDonald's and stuff. It's very, very cool to me that you get like 3 cities for the price of 1 in Marrakesh. But we'll go see what we explore, and I'll catch you then. After I go complain about my McFlurry. It definitely says it. It definitely was meant to have one. It was very easy, by the way. There was a man packing like 30 separate meals into a box, which, very curious. But Baki McFlurry, this is, they mean it when they mean a topping here. They're not just like, yeah, we put a few sprinkles on the top. This is all chocolate all the way through, with just a tiny bit of ice cream mixed in there, which makes me very curious. How will it taste? The answer is very good. The answer is very, very, very good. I like Baki. I like Baki a lot. What can I say? Anyway, time to explore Morocco. Kittens just come right up to you and they come play. It's so cute. And then when you get one kitten, you get other kittens jealous. I love it. It's crazy. This video is going to be all cats, isn't it? Totally worth it. Okay, that bus was an experience in maybe the best or maybe the worst of ways. It was very, very, very packed, but they managed to make it work. Like, when you're on a packed bus, the last thing you want is for people to get on. But when you desperately just want to get on a bus, you're so glad they pack it like that. Anyway, we now have to go to the airport, and there's not long till the flight. But if you want a brief recap of what I've been up to, I could tell you, explain some fun things, or I could just show you some cat videos. So here's the brief recap. Cat, 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 cat. Now all I have to do is go over this wall, and there's the airport. I don't know how I go over the wall. It's not immediately clear looking at it, but over there is how I make the flight. Got just under 2 hours to do it. Let's go. Okay, it's very hot. It's over 30 degrees, but that looks like the airport to me. We'll find out by going inside and working it out that way, I guess. Do you think I want to go to Depose Minute, Passage Reserve, Parking, or Sortie? I'll go Passage Reserve. That sounds good to me. By the way, Morocco takes leaving very seriously. You have to go through a layer of security to get into the building. Then you have to go to a check-in desk where the guy validates your passport. Then you have to go for a man who checks that your boarding pass matches. Then you go through normal airport security. Then you go through border control. Then you go for a man who checks that you got stamped at border control. It's a lot of steps, honestly. But finally, we have traditional European airport duty-free because we in the international zone now. By the way, just before I go, one of my favourite things about Morocco, these square urinals. Not for any particular reason about the urinal itself, but because after you go and you pay 2 dirhams to pee somewhere, and it's one of the more horrific underground scenarios it's not that bad. I mean, it smells bad and it looks rough, but yeah, what else is wrong? I think the guy assumed I might have been talking about his bathroom. Anyway, time to board my flight. Goodbye, Morocco. Oh no, my sausages!